Hi YouTube, it's Amy. I know I've been uploading a lot of videos lately, but definitely a lot going on. I kind of wanted to tell you guys about some good news. Actually, some really great news. As you guys know, I've talked about it a little bit. I don't like to talk about things until we know for certain. That's something you'll learn in the foster adoptive world, especially if you're new to it and coming into it. Um, our first son we have, who's now 15, we actually got him at age 11, and he's adopted. And the cool thing about when you adopt, I don't know, if you don't have experience with it, is that the birth certificates change and everything, and you are the birth mother and like my husband's the birth father. So it really is cool to see that process and when the child's name changes, and it was cool with our first son because he was able to even, he wanted to change his middle name, and we're like, okay. So, you know, he wanted kind of to have a brand new identity. So, you know, I think it's cool to be able to pick a name you really wanted. With that said, we ended up last April. It was so funny because, of course, we're always little kid, little kid, little kid, little kid. So, we're in the process of waiting, and we get a phone call. Well, actually, it was an email because sometimes our agency will email referrals to us, especially if they're adoptive referrals, because we like to do children that are already adoptable if at possible, because we know we want to adopt. Once we are done adopting and forming our family, we will definitely like foster, and do some respite care. But with that said, I remember we got this referral, and it was for a 12-year-old male, and my heart is telling me to say yes, and my husband's like, no, this child he's gonna need a lot of work, and the child's in trouble with the law, and I'm like, no, I'm telling you, I think it's just a child, and I'm so sorry. I think I just burped, not even realizing it. Sorry. So anyway, back to the story. So I mean, my heart is telling me to take this child. 12 years old. We already have a 13-year-old. We just adopted at this point, and I'm telling you. So I'm looking at this referral, and I'm like, honey, I was like, trust me, we need to say yes. We need to say yes. So my husband's like, all right, if that's what you want to do, my very loving and supportive husband, love him dearly. But so we ended up saying yes to this referral. And I think the referral came through at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening because we were taking my son to swim practice. So, nothing. I mean, we went on about our night. The next day, I'm at work. Well, I get a phone call, and they're like, all right, the young man will be at your house in 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh, okay, so he is coming. So, that was considered emergency placement. The child came to us with no socks. His pants were ripped, and the poor thing that week had, I can't go into a lot of detail, and just to protect him too. So with that said, he was only supposed to be with us for a few months. Well, then a few months turned into some more few months, and then to some more few months. Well, then here we are today, 13 months later, and we went in and we were going in today for TPR. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm saying the right thing, just because you're going to hear these terms. And TPR is termination of parental rights. It is a happy thing for us. It's also a sad thing. It's us gaining a child means that somebody's losing a child, and you never have the intention, especially in being a foster parent, is your goal isn't to take these children from their parents. We definitely were rooting for this child to go back, and rooting that this family was going to get their stuff together. That's what you want to happen, because it's, especially with a kid that came into care at 12, it's heartbreaking. So with that said, we ended up getting the TPR today. Very very emotional, as the lawyers are speaking. And I mean, it's heartbreaking. And our child stayed at school today. But he knew we had court today. And so needless to say, we were excited for just him now being able to be part of our family. And we know that's something he wanted as well, especially with the stability. You could tell this child, he needs stability. So with that said, and this is a good idea, I just wanted to share this. I did this with our first son as well, because we're starting the adoption process. The adoption process does take time, but with TPR, he is free and clear to be adopted, because different states have different rules. And so with our state, the child has to be in a foster placement at least 6 months, and TPR has to happen, so termination of parental rights, before the foster adopted. And we're certified as both foster and adoptive parents. So that then makes him eligible for us to adopt. So we will be going into that process very soon. Our social workers will change. You go from having a regular social worker to an adoption specialist, and they kind of help you get through all the paperwork and all the logistics and things like that. So that said, we wanted to surprise our son, and we ended up going out for dinner tonight at Taco Tuesday. We have a little Mexican place, and so I went to Barnes & Noble and I got a book, and it's called I Wish for You. So on the inside I wrote a little inscription, and just put our road to adoption, and I put today's date, and I wished for you, and that wish came true. And so I have this book, and I did this for our first son. We got him an adoption book, and we wrote an inscription, and we handed it to him, and that's how he knew that we picked him to be our child and part of our family. So I handed our son the book, and he just grinned from ear to ear and was like, seriously? And I'm like, yeah. I said, as today, buddy, you're going to be ours. And I said, and I told him, and, I told him how proud we are of him, and 13 months, how much he has changed his life around. And this child is full of potential. And I know when you hear of these older kids in foster care, especially when they're 12, 13, 14, man, let me tell you, they can tug on your heart as much as a 2 or a 3-year-old. I am so blessed to be able to have 2 sons who, my God, just the situations they're both from, and it's amazing. I mean, I struggle with the things I went through 2 years ago with just with cancer and not being able to have our own children. But God wanted me to be a mom in a different and bigger way, because I never in my lifetime would have even ever considered adoption or foster care until that journey of infertility, miscarriages, cancer, so definitely meant to be a mom, maybe just not in the way that God would have had it. So I just wanted to share that great news with you. It's a great feeling. And any of you parents out there on your adoption journey or foster journey, I do have this recommendation I want to show you guys. It came from Barnes & Noble, and it is, we don't have a baby book, and So that's something we'll miss out on. So this was a really cool purchase. It's actually an adoption journal, and it is a journal about the journey before the adoption. So I am making this out to all the children that will come through this house. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, it's so cute. I mean, it goes into it's so cute. It's like becoming part of the family, and the people that are excited to meet you. And I mean, really great purchase, especially if your desire is adoption and you're in that waiting period. How great is this to sit and write your feelings and thoughts every night, and just dream of that child or baby that's meant to be in your arms. So again, I got this at Barnes & Noble. It's as close as a baby book you can get to adopting a child, and even an older child. I'm sorry, my puppy is crying. This is my baby right now. Super, super spoiled. Come here, Cora. Here, I will let you guys have a look at this little baby girl. She is a bit of a pain. Oh, come here, Cora. Sorry. I might have to put the phone down real quick. Okay. Alright. So, this is my baby. This is Cora. Say hi, Cora. She is a whiny little thing, but I love her. Love her. She's 8 weeks old. Little munchkin. Say hi, Cora. So, with that said, I just want to tell you guys that we are super, super blessed at the end of the day. And the foster adoption journey is long, and it's hard, and it's painful, but for every painful moment there is a rewarding moment. When my children come home and they have A's and B's on their report card, I mean, what a reward. When my child is talking about trying out for basketball in the fall and excited to do sports. I mean, it's rewarding, especially children at age 13 and 14, when they can be, sitting on laptops and sitting on games, and, they think it's cool to hang out with us. So, I do want to tell you guys, if I could change your mind at all to, try taking an older one in, even if it's just a little bit and you try it and you don't like it. They'll surprise you. So, we've been open before to take like a 16-year-old young lady, and, so it's just, I feel, and sometimes it's those tweens and teens that just, they want a mom and dad just as much as a baby, So with that said, I just want to tell you how blessed we are and how lucky we are that we have child number 2. And, we're now a family of 4 and counting. So, with that said, I'm going to leave on that note, and you guys have a great night.